Yo, dog, today's episode,
We're gonna fit this 5.0
into this shoebox.
Watch that. That's the one that makes the cut.
Jazz fingers. What are you breaking? What are you breaking?
I saw bolts and I wanted to take it out. Let me see that. Okay,
So.
what we have here is a 1999 5-liter. This came out of the Explorer, so this is the GT40P version, meaning that it's got like the really good heads on it. So these flow better. These are the best. It really is kind of like supposedly the best version of the 5-liter that they made prior to the Coyote, which is really a completely different animal. So we're fitting that guy into the old Ford.
Yep, we have an automatic. It's German. No, it's an automatic gearbox going onto this thing. And we do have the factory engine harness as well, which we're going to try and simplify and obviously modify to get to work. We will probably have a few issues with clearance with the tunnel and maybe the cross member. This is a rear sump, so we might get lucky, but it says S10 on an old Ford with a 5.0, so who knows?
If I was a betting man, I would say that the engine's gonna fit okay, but I bet the transmission's gonna hit the firewall, and we're gonna need to do a tunnel.
I'm not even gonna take that bet because I think you're right.
Yeah. So let's dive into this thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
Cool.
Forward.
Walk it a foot or two this way. So. You know what's doing in there? Double check.
I'd much rather have it be a dead animal.
Ew. Well, you know, a dead animal probably grabbed those and was like,
I'm
"That's
sure it was a mouse with a problem.
Yeah, you think so?
It was easily half a pack-a-day mouse.
Yeah, that's why Mickey's not in the limelight anymore.
Pretty much.
He's in his 3rd round of chemo.
That's nasty.
Ew.
You get to clean that out.
I'll just vacuum it.
Yeah, it's your motor. You gotta deal with the cigarettes. Alright, well, we're a little bummed. This doesn't fit like it should.
I don't know. Well, no. We knew full well that firewall was going to be an issue.
Yeah.
This was not like a surprise. It was more just like we were really hoping that there was going to be a surprise, like a happy accident that with an S10 clip, it was going to make it easier for a big transmission to fit in here, but no, it's not looking that way.
We can't quite see what we're hitting on, but educated guess is a portion of the tunnel is hitting the top ribs of the transmission.
Yeah. In 1951, they switched over to a, it's like a Ford-O-Matic automatic transmission, and that's a much larger transmission than what the Flathead had in here before. So that also meant like a larger tunnel. These are just naturally like really small tunnels. So that's part of why you end up with fitment issues in most modern, I mean even like a C4, I think you might have to notch it. I'm not positive. But, so yeah, you get the floor section there, the tunnel section for a 1951, and it works. It gives you enough room. It probably adds a good 2 or 3 inches or so of tunnel, which is very clearly what we need. We need somewhere in that ballpark, and then it'll probably just go in nice and smooth. Okay, we should be clear.
That's a freaking cabinet hinge.
Tilt it.
What you doing?
From 95. Big old swan.
Weird. Is this like by dots?
Yeah, connect the dots.
Connect the
Maybe I'll
dots.
go back and I'll label them for
Yeah, I expect there to be a phallic shape in there somewhere.
you somewhere. The whole car's kind of phallic shape.
Yeah, that's true.
No, so we have to drill out the spot welds from the factory, and we're just trying to see them. It's kind of hard with years of paint on there, so we're going to mark what we can see with the Sharpie to make life a little bit easier for now. Of course, I dropped the Sharpie.
Okay, so we got the tunnel out. As you guys can tell, look at the giant hole. This is great. That was a little bit of a pain in the ass. We had probably 20-25 spot welds to drill out. Smack her with a hammer, use a chisel to kind of, pry it apart. So not too much drama, just time consuming. Now we're not gonna worry about the tunnel just yet. You can actually check out the next episode. We're gonna be covering like how to install a aftermarket tunnel in one of these things, and we're gonna kind of show you a couple different ways that you can do that. But for now, we're gonna just test fit this motor. We've got so much room right now, we don't have to worry about clearance issues or anything like that, so let's just get the motor figured out, where we wanna put it, and get stuff bolted, build some mounts, go from there. Then we can worry about the tunnel. That can get modified. Getting the motor set where we want it, that's the most important part. This will be a little bit of a pain. we got our upper mounts now. We'll probably sandblast these and clean them up. Good. All right. So if we set this on the motor, we'll check that our positioning is good. Had a number of surprises with this thing so far. Just the engine having, you know, some of this, the casting on the outside being asymmetrical and goofy stuff.
So what's your problem?
What? The ADE sold, so.
What do you need that for?
No transmission. Okay, so we got some issues. As you guys have watched us through this process, trying to fit everything in here. We're finding that there's some fitment problems. There's one company that makes a swap motor mount setup, but you know, we're just not positive whether it's a fit for this motor, this particular version of the 302. I don't know. Basically what we ran into was that the motor mounts, it's strange because like you bolt the plates on there and actually one side is closer to the like the upright right behind the steering box. It's just strange. One motor mount is like closer to the frame than the other side, which we don't know if that means that this motor is actually like asymmetrical, like the whole thing is a little asymmetrical. I don't know. We don't know. Basically, like the pains in the ass are like kind of building up here because this is the very late model version of the 302, so you can't just easily throw a carb on it and just have it done and ready to go. You've got an electronic transmission. You've got bunch of things that are awesome, but also like huge pains in the ass. So I think we're not gonna use it. So we've got the motor. It's you know, we know it fits. It's worked nicely for mock-up, but we think we're gonna go with something else because this has been just such a pain. But we're thinking about doing a small block shaft or an LS.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
What do you think, Donnie?
I think we should just take a break from the whole project. We'll push this out into the driveway and start something new.
Should we electric swap it? Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
right.
like, we just gotta.
We should park it in tall grass so the floor rots out.
But we'll get to it eventually.
Eventually, definitely. We'll sit in a field.
Yep.
A bunch of people will come by. They'll be like, "Hey, what are you gonna do with that thing?" And I'll be like, "I'll get to it eventually."
Yep,
and then I'll be 65, and I'll be like, "I'll get to it eventually."
Exactly. We gotta make sure we bust one window out too.
Yeah, because the whole floor has to be full of water.
Yep.
And a tree has to grow up to the bottom of it, but I'll still get to it eventually.
Out way easier than it went in.
You. And break.
Okay, you get the heavy side.
I'll take the, yeah.
Okay, you just left and I'll supervise.
That's, yeah.
I just ripped ass out here.
Jesus Christ, son.
You ever get the walking farts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the worst.
I get them. I live them. I am the walking farts.
Is that like a spin-off of The Walking Dead? Mm-hmm. The Walking Farts?
Yeah, it's just as terrifying. All right, you ready?
Yep.
There you go. Okay. Oh. Whew. All right. You need a rag?
Yeah, I'll take that when you're done with it.
Okay, cool. All right, hey everybody. Welcome back to the next day of the video. Now I know what you're thinking. We both know what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's not a 2JZ.
Yeah, that actually would have been a lot of fun. And it probably would have fit pretty good.
Probably.
But, so here's what we landed with. We decided instead of doing the very complicated 302, which would have been cool, you know, if it wasn't for the motor mounts and it wasn't for the wiring harness and stuff.
And just being bulky and all that other crap.
There were a lot of things.
Yeah.
And if you use an older 302, completely different ball game. Use a 351, totally different thing. These late model 302s, it's just, there's a lot going on with them. So we just decided, let's save some time, let's save some effort, and we're just gonna piss off the purists and put in a LS.
Yep. So Jake lacks imagination, which is why we're LS swapping this.
Here we are.
No, it makes sense. Being that it's got an S10 clip, they actually make kits to put the LS in the S10. So guess what? We can use that kit.
Probably the most common V8 swap ever is just putting a V8 in a mini truck, particularly an S10. So exactly. And I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised to find out a few fitment things that were challenging on the S10 might not treat us the same way on this swap.
Yeah, something tells me that we'll have a lot more space between the cylinder heads and the firewall, which will make this way easier. We'll probably free up a little bit more space with the bell housing because this is different than the Ford one.
It's smaller.
Yeah, so like this should be no problem. This is also mechanical versus the electronic transmission of the 302.
Exactly.
Which eliminates probably 2 weeks worth of wiring right there.
Oh
alone,
yeah, or
you know?
cost if we were to try and run like a different engine management system on the Ford. Yeah, you could probably use the Terminator X, and then that could control the 4R70W. Cost a lot of extra messing around. The thing is, like, an LS is about the easiest V8 to swap, short of being a carbureted one. So it's pretty easy going.
In theory, should be pretty straightforward on what we're going to be doing.
So what we have is a 700 R4. So we decided to go with a, like Donnie had said, a mechanical automatic transmission. So what's nice about these, there's no transmission controller needed. All you have is a TV cable. That's a throttle valve. So getting that to hook up to an LS can be a little trickier. There are a few parts that you can purchase to do that, but we're actually going to be going a different direction than this factory fuel injection system on this engine anyway. So that's not going to be so much of an issue. But we'll talk a lot more about that in a little bit once we get to that stage. Probably in the next video, we'll talk a little more about what we'll do with the motor.
So at this point, we're just going to bolt the bell housing onto our LS here and shove her in and see how our spacing is. And that'll be that.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Let's toss it on.
Let's get started.
All right.
Push down.
Ready?
Yep.
Good.
Same from my side. Gears lined up. Mine's got to come down just a tiny bit. Ready? Yours all the way through? Yep. In. So wait.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
We finally did something.
Yeah, we accomplished something. So, you guys have been patiently waiting for us for over a month for shoebox updates. And, I mean, now you guys have seen what we've gone through, but here we are. We got an LS bolted into it, and it took all of an hour to fit it in here and bolt it down.
The only kind of tricky thing that we had to do, we realized that the aftermarket motor mounts that we got, we actually had to take the passenger side and put it on the driver's side.
Yeah.
And that gave us all the adjustment we needed, and now it just fits perfectly.
Yeah, that was a sweet discovery. Like, he caught that. You were just like, oh wait, why don't we flip these around and it'll give us adjustment the other way? Because we were running into that common issue where S10s, you have to notch the cross member. And the thing is, we had a ton of room on the backside.
Yeah, so in an
got
S10,
it in there
the
now.
Firewall actually sits farther forward than where the shoebox one does.
Yeah.
Which is why you have to notch it and you're limited on your space. We had way more space on the backside of the motor than we needed.
There's a ton of room. There's 3 inches, maybe more, just on the backside of the engine. So if somebody wants to do this and like get as much of the weight as far back as possible, I mean, you could pretty much get, I don't know, over 3/4 of the engine behind the center line of the axle in the front. It's pretty awesome. I don't know if that means it'll handle better, but it means the weight's further back.
Well, and it bolts right in.
And it does, yeah.
Like, we're going to have to modify the cross member for the transmission mount, but other than that, everything bolted in.
So, yeah, I mean, now that we've got it in here, I think it's finally a wrap for today's episode. So thank you very much for tuning in and all of the patience while waiting for us to get to the next step. We've been waiting on car parts. We've been waiting on fixing stuff. We've been realizing that
all sorts of fun things.
It doesn't work. And now, finally, we've got the drivetrain figured out. So thank you. We'll see you guys in the next one. Where we don't actually know what we're going to do in the next one because everything changed.
We're going to keep working on the shoebox. We know that much.
Exactly. Yeah. So, thanks everybody. Next week. Hopefully next week. No guarantees.